It was 1863, nearly 2 years since the Civil War had begun, dividing my family in half and changing our lives forever. My brothers John and Tom had joined the Union, along with cousin Eb and Shad, the schoolmaster. Though we supported the North, I wondered what happened to Bill. He was the only member of the family who went south to fight for the Rebs. Because of it, folks around home looked down on us. With Pa too weak to help, the work of the farm fell to my sister Jenny and me. As I became the man of the house, I began to learn a lot about life, death, and hope. For though the days were long, we clung to the hope that the war would soon be over.
Afternoon, Jethro. Your Ma home?
Yes, sir. Ma? 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 Afternoon, Ed.
Miss Creighton, we brung news about your boy Tom. I'd rather be whipped than be the bearer of such news, but we knowed we had to do it. My boy Dan here was with him.
I reckon I don't know where to begin. Tom and me was together a lot in them days. We done a good deal of laughing and joking, and his spirits were always high. And then it started. All of a sudden, I never heard such a noise. It was like one long roar of cannons and screams. Maybe I had not tell you these things.
We want to hear everything, Danny.
We managed to get through that first day all right. And then towards evening, Buell's reinforcements commenced to come in across the Tennessee River. Tom was standing beside me when we seen the boats coming. We both took off our caps and waved like we was crazy.
Go on, son.
That's when I heard the shot. He never even known what happened.
I'm sorry, Miss Creighton, but I figured you'd want to know the way it was.
Thank you, Dad, for telling us. Bring the family Bible, son. You do it, Jenny. Set down the date and the place. I've done it so often, so many times. I'm gonna sit with you, Paul. war didn't seem real till Danny come bringing this awful word of Tom. I used to dream about the nice home me and Shad would have. How I'd keep it bright and pretty. Nowadays, I don't dare have any dreams. For fear someday a soldier will come home and tell us that he was standing beside Shad the way Danny was standing beside Tom.
What was that?
What is it, Jeff?
There's trouble for folks that stands up for their reb-loving sons.
What's it mean, Ma?
Well, for some folks, it ain't enough. We got 3 boys fighting in the Union.
4, Ma. Don't forget about Shad.
I know. Gotta be on guard. It's just in case.
Winter came without any more trouble, but we were always on edge. I knew if there was trouble, it would be up to me to defend the family. Paul began to get better. He could sit on his own, but we still had to feed him. To pass the time, I read Shad's books, and Jenny wrote him letters. But the mail took weeks to get where it was going, which made the waiting even worse. We heard more and more of outlaws and deserters in the hills. I carried Paul's gun with me when I went out, and Jenny wasn't allowed to go far from the cabin.
Who's there? Who's there? Come on out. I know you're in there.
Be still, Jeff. It's me. Jeff, you growed past all believing.
Eb? Well, Mom and Paul will be glad to see you.
No, I could get him in a lot of trouble. I deserted, Jeff. I up and left old Abe's army.
Why, Eb? Why'd you do it?
Don't know for sure. We was burying dead boys all day. The smell. It was awful. All at once, I knowed I couldn't take it anymore. I guess you heard about Tom. I always figured I could stand things long as he was with me.
Reckon it sort of broke my spirit when he died. Now there's no place on earth for me to hide. I'll either freeze or starve or be catched. Tell me about him, Jeff. Uncle Matt, Aunt Ellen, Jenny.
Pa had a stroke. He ain't been the same since. Ma's tolerable. Jenny's fine. We work the farm together.
She's still in love with Shad?
More than ever, I guess. She writes him a lot.
Any word from Bill?
Nothing.
That's too bad. I knowed you two was close.
If you could go back, you would, wouldn't you?
You're asking a man if he had a chance to live, would he take it? But a deserter can't go back. I'll be hunted the rest of my days.
Dad! Come on back! I guess I better be getting back before someone misses me. I'll bring you what food I can tomorrow.
Go ahead, I'll be okay.
That night, I couldn't sleep. The image of Eb's sunken face and sad eyes staring at me from the trees was firmly stamped in my mind. He promised to move on soon, but we both knew he had nowhere to go. I couldn't just let him starve to death, but I couldn't tell anyone either. There had to be some way to help. Then it hit me. If the president couldn't help, no one could.
Morning, Mr. Milton.
Morning, young Creighton.
What brings you out to these parts, Mr. Milton?
Well, I thought maybe you folks could use a little mail.
From Shad.
Well, I don't know, but it is addressed to you.
Thank you. It's from his aunt. What's it say? Dear Miss Jenny Creighton, I'm sorry to be the bearer of such bad news, but I feel that I must. I'm a volunteer at the local hospital here in Washington. Shad was brought to me direct from battle with serious wounds that turned gangrenous before his arrival. He has short periods of consciousness where he has begged me to write to you. As his final wish, I will gladly pay your expenses and give you shelter if you will come to Washington and visit him.
Are you sure, Jenny? It could be too late by the time you get there.
I couldn't live with myself if I didn't go, Ma.
I know.
Get up. Get up.
Shad was only one of thousands of young men who fell at battles in Vicksburg, Gettysburg, and Chickamauga. But at that moment, my heart was with Jenny. As she drove away, a part of me went with her, a part that still held hope that Shad would be alive when she got there.
Jeff, this just came. It's from the president.
Dear Jethro, my secretary has called my attention to your letter. Knowing how I feel about boys your age and the interest I have in letters from my home state of Illinois. The problem which you describe is one among so many others that has troubled me night and day. However, I made a decision on this matter just days ago. You will understand that if it be a wrong one, I will have erred on the side of mercy. The conditions are as follows. All Union soldiers who return to their post by April 1st shall be restored to their respective regiments without punishment other than pay for the time that they were gone. This information you may relay to the young man in question, and may God bless you for trying to seek out what is right. Yours respectfully, Abraham Lincoln.
I couldn't wait to write Jenny and tell her about the letter. It seemed like forever since she'd left and there'd been no word. When a letter finally did arrive, it was from John, and the news was hard to believe.
My dearest family, it is late at night, but I have a story to tell, and I must write it because I can't sleep till I have told you. A few days ago, I was put in charge of helping to feed Reb prisoners. When I walked among them, I seen a man that I thought I knowed. It was my brother Bill. We sat together with thousands of sad men around us and talked like brothers ought to talk. Ma, Bill wants that I should tell you that after the war, he won't come home to cause you further grief. And Ma, Bill weren't at Pittsburgh Landing. The bullet that killed Tom was not fired by him.
I'm glad. I'm glad Bill's all right.
bolstering today, old man. You know good and well I wanted Matt Creighton for mine awful bad.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot of life left in you. Come sit with me for a spell, Jack. Bill was only 2 when your pa built that cabin.
Don't matter much now, does it?
Don't give up, Jeff. Folks will pitch in to help.
Looks like a 2-man job to me.
Shad? I thought I'd never see you again.
I got news, Jeff. Good news. The war, it's over.
But how? When?
2 days ago, Grant and Lee signed a treaty at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia.
Are you sure? I don't think I can take it if it ain't the truth.
I'm sure.
Dad? Dad? You boys come on back.
Go ahead.
Jeff, ain't it wonderful?
I can hardly believe it myself. You've changed. You look so grown up.
Oh, well, look at you, Jeff Creighton. You're looking more a man than ever. Got more news, Jeff. Pa's give his permission for me and Shad to be married.
Does that mean you'll teach at school this winter?
I'm going back to college, Jeff. My uncle's going to give me a teaching position while I finish my work.
That means you'll be leaving again.
That's true. But we want you to come too, Jeff. To live with us back east and get a real education.
That'd be the finest thing on earth for me. What about the farm? Ma and Pa, they need me.
They want what's best for you.
You've plowed long enough. They'll be helping the fields this summer.
John will be coming back. And Eb, too.
Don't build me up too much. I don't know if I can take it. Something's liable to burst inside me.
It'll work out, Jeff. You'll see.
morning, Creighton.
Morning, Mr. Melvin.
I'm going to do a complete story on what happened over at Bordeaux's place. Before I get through, you'll be a hero. And that letter from the president? My paper wants to print it.
Well, I'd be proud, Mr. Melvin. I knew folks would come. Jenny, hurry and get your paw.
There was warmth in the air that day, and the sunlight was like pure gold. John and Eb would be coming home, and I was going to live back east with Shad and Jenny. I reckon things turned out after all.